Well, Tenacious G here. Deal. Back off. There we go. But like I say, it's Tenacious G here, formerly known as GWFM. If you remember him. Do you mean no? Well, we'll just scoot over that anyway. Basically, I'm here today to share my tips for Football Manager. Potentially in general, rather than just 21, because I've used this for the last 3 years, and I'd like to share it with you. It might help. It might actually save your tactic if you're struggling. If it's been working before, and you've always had an issue where it just all of a sudden just stopped working for no reason, then this tip might just help you. Before we get started, though, I want to state that it's not like 100% guaranteed to work. I've just found a hell of a lot of success doing these techniques, these 6 techniques, to get us back on track in terms of the tactic. Now, one thing that I have done during all my Football Manager time, particularly streaming, is I've called it Morale Manager. You might be thinking, what a shit name. And you're right, it is. But let me level with you. It's going to make sense. It's definitely going to make sense. But yeah, as I mentioned, don't forget the streaming. Been doing a network save with Yorkie, another YouTuber/streamer. A lot of fun, barrel of laughs. Come and join us on twitch.tv/tenacious_G. You're more than welcome to join us and have a laugh with us. And yeah, it's a cracking community, so get involved. Sorry, where were I? Yeah, Morale Manager is what I call Football Manager. It's a lame name, but it's because I seriously believe that morale is absolutely key in Football Manager. Now, we've all been there. Beat all the teams in the top 6 and lost 1-0 against bottom of the league, having had, 3,786 shots and they've had 1. Then, for shits and giggles, that one loss causes a catastrophic chain reaction. Before you know it, you haven't won in 5 or 6 games. Morale is shot, and you don't like winning anytime soon, resulting in being ridiculed by fellow content creators. Or is that just me? Now, you know your tactic was working perfectly. You just beat the top 6, for God's sake. So surely your tactic is good enough for the bottom 6, right? Well, that is inconclusive. Some may argue that you need to adapt to the AI tactical setups, whether it be a team instruction or a role tweak. But for me, I've had a lot of success managing the morale. Hence, Morale Manager. Now, before I list what I do, to some, they may be obvious, but beginners in particular may have overlooked this procedure, if you want to call it that. Anyways, what you are here for. Number 1, win. The most obvious thing to do to raise morale is simply just win. No shit, G. Didn't realise you took lessons from Michael Owen. I mean, it might seem like a silly thing to suggest, but you may have an easier cup game coming up, maybe. So, it may be possible to shithouse a 1-0 win with Man United against, say, Harrogate Town, thus providing a catalyst to improve form. Just make sure to praise the performance afterwards. Number 2, team meetings. Now, the next most obvious, especially after a lengthy run without a win, is the team meeting. I find the faith to get to winning ways option, or whatever it is that it says, it's the one that's the most closest to that, is the most effective, although others may work for you. The key, though, is to do the team meeting literally the click before going into a game, because for some reason, the game, if you do it like straight after a loss, say, a couple of days later, you'll see that your morale's plummeted for whatever reason. No idea why. So ideally, you want to get it just before you go into a game, and then you're sorted, basically. Although it could be, for me personally, because the players realise they are playing for me. I mean, it could be that, couldn't it, really? Let's be honest. Number 3, training performance. Praise training where you can. I aim for players with a training performance of at least 8. Any less, and you could face the wrath of the game and make the morale dip instead. Which nobody wants that. Surprisingly, I have found some success giving the players some pasty for poor performance as well. However, I tend to shy away from this unless morale is high, obviously. If your morale's already low, I wouldn't even risk it. Number 4, team talks. There are only so many times you can throw a bottle or a pen, Yorkie. And again, we've all been there. Aggressive, training tomorrow. I mean, does that sound familiar? Probably does. However, maybe change your approach. If you're a big underdog and you're drawing 0-0 at half time, praise, I find. Keep it up. That's the one, my go-to. Essentially, though, whatever chance you get, praise. 1-0 up against any team, keep it up. 1-0 down, unlucky. 3-0 down when a massive underdog, unlucky. Obviously, if you win, whatever the score, praise them. Even if you're like I said, Man United winning 1-0 against Harrogate Town, still praise them. Don't be thinking, oh, I'm Man United, I should be winning 3-4-0, so I'm disappointed, because the idea is, if you're on a bad run, get that morale back up as soon as possible. But yeah, even if it's 0-0 at the end of the game, and you've been on a bad run, and you're an underdog, praising it at the end of the game, for me, is a massive must. Number 5, team bonding. Don't be afraid to add team bonding in your general training. It helps with team cohesion, the actual teamwork, and a few other bits as well. But most importantly, for a slight intensity increase, it greatly increases happiness. I mean, to be fair, it would be awesome if this was a thing that you could use in real life. You know, something that greatly increases happiness. You know, I mean, ideally that'd be perfect for, I don't know, say the Arsenal fans. Number 6, and finally, praise conduct. This is the main reason I want to do this video. This technique, if you want to call it that, has served me ridiculously well over the last couple of years. Almost as well as my best chat up line when I was in my 20s. Okay, it's far, far better than my best chat up line when I was in my 20s. Anyways, it's imperative, or at least in my opinion it's imperative, that you do this just before a match in the same sort of way as you do the team meeting. Like literally the click before you go into the match. I also only tend to use the praise conduct on players on OK or below. But to be honest with you, I haven't had to try it at the highest level. Usually, so if I don't win in 4 games, that's when I start doing it, and they tend to be on OK, fairly OK sort of area when I start doing this. But I'd say OK and slightly below, definitely try and do this if you can. It can be tedious, but I've done this on the full 18 players in the English leagues before, several times, following 4 or 5 defeats, which to be fair, just shows how inept I am at the game. That said, I would like to think I haven't lost a game since I started trying this process about 3 years ago. Yeah, there's been some draws, but I have praise in the team talks, and for some reason, I've always seemed to turn my form around to some degree. But what I am saying is it has saved several saves and seasons in the past. Most recently, I was struggling to get Burnley results, and while yes, I changed to a style that I like rather than playing in a Burnley style, I still struggled in the beginning with the new tactic. The very first game, though, when I started using the praise conduct technique, if you like, it gave us a draw against Fulham, I believe. It was down at the bottom of the table, which, you know, it was hard to praise, but I went with the praise. And that praise obviously gave us the impetus to increase the morale, and obviously then we got enough points. Well, fortunately, we got enough points to keep his job, because, you know, standard stat potential when you're streaming, it is real. And then we managed to make it to the window to improve the squad. We won't mention the 35 million that the board randomly gave us out of the blue, which massively helped in this regard for the rest of the season. And that is it. Give this technique a try. Let us know how you fare with it in the comments, because it's worked for me several times. I'd love to think it'd help at least one person. If we do that, as mentioned before, it'd be absolutely amazing. But I know some of the pointers are obvious, but I think sometimes you get lost in the game. Sometimes you just pressing continue, pressing the space bar, pressing the mouse button on continue, whatever it is you do. And I think sometimes you're that frustrated that you don't think about it, especially when you're streaming and everyone's watching you and you're doing sort of shit. What do you mean, just me? Anyway, I've been G. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If it has helped you in any way, shape or form, please let us know. Hit the like button as well, but let us know in the comments if you want to see more videos at all, which, bear in mind, I've got a series coming out soon. It's with Bolton. You should see the thumbnail on the screen now. I'm looking forward to doing it, and hopefully we'll do too. And if you do want to see that, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and, of course, the notification bell. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you then. Bye-bye.